My name is Jeff Martin, and you're listening to Lunch with Doug.
Welcome back to another great episode of Lunch with Doug. I'm your host, Dangerous Doug Harper. Today's episode, we're talking about Jeff Martin. Jeff Martin, Texas music. We're going to have Jeff on the phone here in just a minute. We're going to be talking to him about some exciting news. He's got some exciting stuff happening in his music career, and we're gonna talk to him about that in just a minute here on Lunch with Doug. But before we get to that, I want to mention our folks that make this podcast possible: the Brick Wall Bistro, 127 East Cherry Street in fantastic Nevada, Missouri; the Nana Marie's at 120 North Main Street, Nevada, Missouri; Bill's Boutique and the Second Edition Shop, 500 East Cherry Street, Nevada, Missouri; Harry Frog Graphics at 150 North Commercial Street in fabulous Nevada, Missouri; Andrew D. McNair at the Art Shop, 104 East Cherry Street, Nevada, Missouri, or at andrewdmcnair.com; The Zone Nutrition at 14180 East US Highway 54, next to Mr. D's in Nevada, Missouri; J&R Home Store at 118 West Walnut, Nevada, Missouri; and the Woodshed Music, downtown Nevada, Missouri at 129 North Main Street. We'll be back in just a minute. We'll have Jeff on the phone after this here on Lunch with Doug. Thank you for spending your lunchtime with me. For more than 25 years, the concept has been brewing. The underground music scene has finally went mainstream, and the Local Ear magazine is here to tell you all about the subculture surrounding it. New music, interviews, and reviews from upcoming local, regional, and indie bands, skateboarding punks, the BMX scene, vinyl lovers, video game talks, scene kids, open mic night comedy circuit, subculture fashion, and so much more. It's all packed into the newest in-print subscription-based magazine, Local Ear. Learn more and join the underground subculture today at www.localearmagazine.com.
On the phone with me, folks, it's Jeff, as promised. Jeff, how are you today, man?
I'm doing wonderful, man. How are you?
I'm doing great, Jeff. You've been popping up all over social media. I've been following lots of music folk, Jeff, and you've been coming up a bunch on my feed lately. And I just, like I talked to you in email earlier, you had just taken the plunge to go music full time. And could you just kind of get me up to speed and the listeners up to speed how you've got to this point in your life and your music career?
It was honestly, I wouldn't say it's by accident, but it was more or less, for 3 years I worked a job. I worked a great job. I had great benefits, retirement, and all that stuff. And don't get me wrong, that's what usually most adults aspire to have. But for 3 years, I was also treated like crap by people that just didn't care about anybody but themselves. And I got to that point to where I was told that I was going to lose my job if I didn't quit music. And I just went ahead and said, screw it, I'm going to do music full time. And, you know, ever since, it's only been a month, but in a month's time, I have doubled my income and done it on my terms. And I've been so happy to wake up every day and not hate life and not have stress. And it's just been, I've networked and met so many people in the last month too. And it's been wonderful.
It sounds like an awesome ride. Now, I understand, I guess right now you're playing, you're doing some solo gigs, just you and your guitar, or are you doing
just me and my guitar? I've played with people, like I've done duets and stuff like that, but I've also, you know, I'm trying to get to that point to where I can finally say, you know what, it's time to put a band together. So, but right now it's just me and the guitar.
No, that's cool. Well, you can basically play anywhere like that, right?
Anywhere. That's my thing has always been since I've started, have guitar, will travel. I actually have 4 singles out right now. 3 of them actually charted in Texas last year. 1 is currently on the charts. I say 2 charted last year. 1's on the charts now. And it's been slowly working its way up. I know last week, my current single, You Made Him Lie, is currently sitting at 192 on the Texas 200 on the Texas regional radio charts.
Nice.
So we're slowly working our way up. And
hey, that's fantastic.
It's just been a slow roller coaster, you know, coming from nothing and not knowing a whole lot to having 3 songs that charted somewhere. I'm totally okay with that.
Well, that's fantastic.
I'm all over social media. Jeff Martin, Texas Music. We just actually broke 30,000 on TikTok, and TikTok is just a way for me to express myself. Sometimes I share music on there. I play live a lot, and then of course I have a website too. If you can't access those, JeffMartinTexasMusic.com, all spelled out, and those are just the easiest ways to find me and get a hold of me for anything like that. So.
Fantastic. Now, right now, are you currently just playing in Texas, or are you doing some other states as well?
I'm trying to branch out and get my feet wet in other states too. I know that my sister Grace is graduating in Springfield, Illinois, Chatham, Illinois, on June 4th, and I know I'm playing up there at the Boar's Nest on the 3rd. So it's kind of one of those that if I'm somewhere, I try to catch a show wherever I'm at, and I've got connections in a lot of places like Nashville and you know, Springfield.
Nashville's a good place to have connections at.
I went and did auditions for The Voice in Nashville a few years ago, and that's where I got to network and meet a couple of people. And then I've got a couple of friends that moved up there from down here and are making quite a stir in Nashville right now. So I can't wait to go back up there. I had so much fun the last time I went, and I'm looking forward to going back.
Now, where you were doing your recordings at now? Are you doing them in Texas, or did you go up to Nashville to do them?
I didn't. So I actually came across, Facebook's got this weird algorithm that I swear they listen to you. And I was talking about recording music sometime, and there was a couple of websites that came up. One was, I think, called Nashville Recordings. The other one was called Tune Designer. And I just wanted to try it out, see if I'd like it or not. And You Made Him Lie was my first single that I dropped, and I dropped it through Tune Designer. So basically, I recorded a track on a guitar and sent it to them and said, "This is what I'd like." It's supposed to be a sad song that talks about a certain a man going through life in the military that a lot of people don't like to talk about. And anyway, they got the idea. They charted it out. They put a full band behind the song and sent it back to me. And then I went to a studio in Bridgeport, Texas, and recorded the song, recorded my vocals, and then they mastered everything and sent it back to me, and the results were just amazing.
Wow, I've heard of some stuff like that before, but yeah, I haven't heard anybody's personal, testimony on that. So that's good to know. I'm sure that's you think you might use it again at some point?
Absolutely. I mean, just the quality, the music quality that they put out. I've released all 4 of my songs so far with Tune Designer, and each time that I have had an idea of how I want a song done, they make it come to life. They're not the ones that say, "Well, we want to do it like this." No, they give you the opportunity to tell you what you want, how you want it done. They chart it exactly how you want it done, and if it's not perfect, they fix it. And I'm not a diva that goes around being an absolute perfectionist, but they get it right there exactly how I want it, usually the first time I put it out there. And one of my friends listened to it. He said, "Dude, after your second song that you recorded, I had to get mine done." And he released a song that actually we went head-to-head in a competition on the radio, and he beat me. So obviously they're doing something right.
Well, it sounds like, yeah, you're getting on the chart there and everything. Yeah, it sounds great. Now, comparatively, I don't want to talk dollars exactly, but comparatively to what it would cost to produce a song in, say, Nashville, what is the difference? Is it less expensive, about the same, or expensive?
It's less expensive because for me, when I was working full-time and doing music part-time, I was working 7 days a week when I had a full-time job. But with a part-time schedule and having a few sponsors behind you, a blue-collar budget could easily afford Tune Designer. Yeah. And that's the reason why I went there, is because I was like, hey, if I like it, it ain't going to cost a lot of money, and you're not having to hire musicians. It's the same 4 guys doing all the work.
Yeah.
And they're putting 2 or 3 out a day. So.
Well, yeah, fantastic.
It's great if you're on a budget.
I like it. A lot of people are always asking me where to do things at, and I actually had never heard of them. I've heard of some services like that, but never that particular one until now. So I feel like you should be endorsed. They should be endorsing you, sponsoring you with all this plug-in for them. Huh?
I'll tell you what, though, and the cool thing about them is the fact that you can watch your tracks being made. They record them live on Facebook.
Oh, really? Well, that's cool. That's kind of neat. So you actually watched the whole production going on while you were doing it.
I did. If there's something that needs to be changed, I can say, hey, can y'all just do this here, or send them an email, and they'll change it and send it to you as a proof. Like, they'll Dropbox it to you, and if you don't like something, they'll change it. But if you like this way, or if they can suggest something to you and say, well, here's an idea we had, and if you don't like it, you tell them no. They don't fight you over it.
Yeah,
so
of course.
It's neat. It's 100% in the customer's hands, and they are completely, open to whatever you've got. So it's
fantastic.
Great.
Fantastic. Now, you've said you've got some new songs you're working on now that you're getting ready to maybe go cut soon. An EP idea, maybe?
I do. Actually, I have 4 released now, and I've got 2 more that I need to cover. One is an original. The other one is a cover song. And I decided to go ahead and cover a song that kind of resonated with me as a kid, because it took me back to a time where we used to go camping all the time as a kid. And I remember at the end of the night, we'd all sit around the fire, and my mom and her sister and her brother were all old hippies. So they loved Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show. So I figured Sylvia's Mother was going to be a great song for me to cover, and I'm ready to put that out there. I played it every show.
That's a great song, yeah.
Now,
has anybody else did a cut of that? Or just, I haven't heard of anybody really covering it.
I don't recall anybody that's ever covered that song. I've heard people cover the Rolling Stones and stuff. Like Corb Lund just recently released a cover of the Rolling Stones.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't heard anybody else cover that song. So I figured
maybe you'll make it a hit again.
I'm hoping so, man. It's one of my favorite songs to cover, and I love it. So we'll see what happens when we get to doing it, because I know Tune Designer said they are ready when I am.
Fantastic. This is all right, man. Well, this sounds great. I'm just really excited. I like to hear about people, I think, doing the plunge, doing the full-time thing, because I just know that it's a lot of work. But you're working, everything day and night when you're not going, strong. And it sounds like you're all well on your way to success. And is there anything you could say? I don't know that everybody listening is a musician, but is there anything you could say, any good advice to just anybody, any good advice at all, musician or non-musician?
Time. This is something that I've always thought of, and I feel like this applies to everybody, no matter what your walk of life is. Time is something that you can never get back. If somebody tells you you can't do something, prove them wrong, because once time runs out, you don't want to have regrets in your life saying, man, I wish I could go back in time and do this. If you've got the ability and the want to do it, because nobody is stopping you but yourself. And if you have dreams, chase it. I think Cody Johnson just released a song that if you got a chance, take it while you got a chance.
Mm-hmm.
And you got goals you want to do in your life, don't wish on it, just do it. Because once time's gone, you can't get time back. And that's me right now. I'm 35 years old, chasing this full time, and I'm loving every minute of it.
Well, it sounds like you got a fantastic thing going on, really. And is there anything we could do, listeners, or the podcast, or anything we can do to help you out? What do you need from us? You need us to like a page or boost the video or anything like that? What can we do for you?
Just like the pages, man. Facebook, Instagram. Follow the schedule. Come see me at a show. Otherwise, just stream the music, man. I'm on all the platforms. That's the iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music. Just And just if you ever see me in public, just tell me you heard me here, and man, I'll be sure to give y'all a shout every time.
Fantastic, man. Fantastic. Well, I think that pretty much wraps it up. If you got anything else you want to tell us before we go?
I do. I recently, I do want to say something. Recently, I just got through covering an event. We called it Justice for Trent, and it was about a young man who was bullied and beaten by his friends. Trent's deaf, and he was a senior in high school. I just want to say that there's enough hate and division in this world. I think it's time that we all start loving each other again. And if you're out in public somewhere, or if you're feeling the need to do something good, just it takes $0 to be kind to somebody and do something nice for someone. I think a lot of that goes a long way.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Now, are you doing some other, this is the first benefit of this kind you've done, or do you do some other benefits like that?
Oh, man, I volunteer for benefits all the time. I actually just got through, we just had a big fire out here in Eastland County, and it burned over 50,000 acres of land. And we just got through doing a big benefit up here at one of the bars in town that benefited all the people that lost houses, the fire departments, everything. If you've, I volunteer for veterans benefits all the time. I love giving back to our veterans because at the end of the day, those guys are the reason why we live in the freest country in the world. And I highly recommend that if you get a chance to go and support these musicians, it's not just me, but anybody. Support your local musicians that are out doing these benefits because these guys are doing it out of pocket for free. And as far as benefits coming up, I know that there is a couple of decent little benefits around here. I know they're doing a big fire department benefit in Gorman, Texas, which is kind of near Brownwood. I'm not playing any big benefits anytime soon, but I'm usually asked to do something. But if you ever see me at a benefit, see any of these local artists at a benefit, they're usually doing it out of pocket and volunteering just for the love of doing it.
Yep, for sure, man. Well, I'll just say thanks for all you've done, and I'm sure somewhere down the line it's probably benefited me. Just
well,
if you benefited for the veterans, that's definitely benefited for me. So for good.
Well,
so thank you.
At the end of the day, I just want to be known as somebody who gave back instead of somebody that just takes. I love giving back, especially to our veterans, our first responders. At the end of the day, it's about them. Because they're the ones that put their lives on the line for us, and we just live here. So.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. For real. Well, man, I'm going to jump off here and stay in touch. Feel free to give us a message. You can message the podcast anytime. There's a little message option. So feel free to message in if you got anything you want to, update us on, any shows or releases and none of that. And we'll be in touch.
I'm not afraid to drive anywhere for a show. So if y'all want to book me up in your area, just send me an email. You can find that on the Facebook page.
Yep, I'm hoping somebody's listening right now that wants to book you because I want to come to your show. I might not be able to drive to Texas to see you, so I'll have to see you closer to home. But I'm sure you'll be here soon.
Like I said, I'm not afraid to drive, so I've got connections everywhere.
Fantastic, man. Fantastic. It was excellent meeting you, man. And thanks again for being on the show. And like I said, stay in touch.
Absolutely. Thank you.
There you have it, folks. That was Jeff Martin going full-time music, man. Full-time music. Check out his music on Spotify and wherever you could find music, Apple, all that good stuff. Find him at Facebook at Jeff Martin Texas Music. There you go. Folks, like him, love him. He's fantastic. And he's, of course, at 30,000 followers there on TikTok. So find him at TikTok as well. Wherever you like to view stuff on the internet. Yes, and then of course I've got some other links I'll put in the description. Look below this podcast wherever you're hearing it, and there's some stuff there for you too. So get out and see Jeff if you're in the Texas area, in his area. Maybe he'll be in your area soon. If you're up there in Springfield, Illinois, when he comes up there, check him out. Check out Jeff Martin. He's fantastic and just great to have him on the show today. Today's Lunch with Doug podcast was made possible by your friends at the Brickwall Bistro, 127 East Cherry Street, Nevada, Missouri. Nana Marie's, 121 North Main Street, Nevada, Missouri. The Bells and Bows second edition shop at 500 East Cherry Street in Nevada, Missouri. Harry Frog Graphics, 150 North Commercial Street in Nevada, Missouri. Andrew D. McNair at the Art Shop, 104 East Cherry Street, or andrewdmcnair.com. The Zone Nutrition at 14180 East US Highway 54, next to Mr. D's in Nevada, Missouri. J&R Home Store, north side of the Nevada Square, 118 West Walnut Street, Nevada, Missouri. And the Woodshed Music at 129 North Main Street, downtown Nevada, Missouri. Thanks again for spending your lunchtime with me, and thank you, Jeff, for being on the show.